So say we all.
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 Okay, welcome everyone. This is going to be the second video about the card reviews. We have 8 cards today, including the first evolving card of the Master Mirror expansion, which is going to be Nilfgaard's Usurper. We're going to talk about that too. So let's see which cards we have for today's video, by the way. Let's see, our first card going to be Pact. A neutral 4 provision spell. It's going to boost the unit by 6 and give it Doomed. So boosting 6 means most of the times you can use this on your own units, right? It can be a nice card for Gwent decks, maybe 6/4 seems good. Downside is giving it Doom, so it can make this a target for your enemy. But we need to see if there's going to be a lot of Doom removals in game, right? We have one for today. We're going to check it. It's going to be a neutral card too. In some cases, maybe if you have Doom killing targets in your hand, you can use offensively too. But remember that if your opponent gonna give wheel to that unit or just purify it, it means you just make a 6-point play for your opponent, and it's not going to be that good. So most of the times it's going to be a defensive card, I guess. You can play it in if your opponent pass as a last play in the rounds, or as I told you, you can play this kind of card is in kind of unitless decks with full specials list, let's say, possibly in Gwent decks too. Other than that, it's just meh, I think. Next one gonna be Will o' the Wisp. It's gonna be a neutral special card again. It's gonna have 5 provision, you can see. Destroy a doomed unit. So this is one of the spells that kills doomed units. So giving doom tag to your opponent is gonna be good. Also, maybe I'm just thinking if we're gonna see nice doom giving cards too, maybe old gun through dim card can be playable too. That can be satisfying, to be honest. So you need a setup for this card. You can think this like a poison, but to be honest, it's not gonna have body. So you want to kill a tall unit with this. And of course, it's like the same defenses against poison. Your opponent can use Purify from old school, or after this expansion, whale targets too. 5 provision, I think if you try to create a Doom kind of deck that give Dooms and kill Doom targets, maybe you can try, but you need to see other options too, other number of cards that gives Dooms. That's going to be important to add this card to your deck. Next one going to be Offering, another natural, another special card. This time it's going to have 6 provision. You're going to damage a unit by 1. If that damage kills that unit is that below, then you're going to play a bronze unit from your graveyard and give it Doomed. So you can think this is Freya's Offering, right? Freya's Offering works only for Skellige units, but you don't need a setup for that. This time you need a 1 by the unit on your opponent's side to make this work, right? Offering can be good for Bronze Engine based decks. It can be even nice in Northern Realm decks, for example. But also, to include this card to your deck, you need some range of cards to give damages. Like most of the units in Gwent, especially when you think about bronzes, they're going to have 4 to 5 body, right? You're going to see some 6 between early golds too, I mean cheap golds. So 3, 4 damage and 5 damage going to be important to be in your deck. I said this can be good in Northern Realms engine kind of decks, because you can have ballista kind of setups too. Ballista smaller, so you can always find 1 body opponent to be able to use this card. A mixed deck, for example, like Drummers, Anna, and that kind of boost deck with maybe 30 infanteries and some damage bronze, this card can get value, to be honest. Okay, we talk about this. So this is going to be one of the important cards, my friends. Not Angry Mob. Seditious Aristocrat. So it's going to be a Nilfgaard, as you can see. 5 provision, 3 body. Deploy with Devotion. You're going to only get this deployability if your deck has no neutrals, only Nilfgaard cards. You're going to boost self by 1 for every spying enemy unit. But also it's a second ability, this time another passive ability. You do not need devotion for the second one. Devotion gonna only work for the first one, deploy. Whenever an enemy unit gains spying, boost up by 1. You can think this as bronze rainform with the second ability. It's gonna be okay. Think about a full spy deck. Okay, as we see that with this expansion, they're gonna try to boost the spy archetype in the card. That's very pleasing. And this card at first 3, 4, 5, right? When you create a spy deck, I think you're gonna have number of spies. Let's see, 2 Duchess Informant, right? 100%. 1 Roderick, 1 Joachim, probably. Cantarella, definitely. When you see echo cards too, so 5. Maybe 2 more that boost 7 spies, 7. And let's say 1 or 2 too, so 8 to 9 spies in your deck, okay? And also you can play Remedy, so you can just rest 2 more spies. Let's say 10 spies you're gonna have in your deck, so 4 to 5, most of the times 4 of them in the first round, and you want to have long round 3, so 5 to 6 in the last round. I mean 5 is enough because you need units too, right? So most times 4 or 5 spies. That means at best this can get 7 or 8 for 5 provision. But when you think about that, in Gwent, your opponent not gonna have much option with removals, right? If they didn't create a removal-based deck, they're gonna have mostly 2 or 3 removals. So they have to choose their targets for those removals. And you're gonna have enforcers in this deck, these aristocrats in this deck, so you're gonna give him a lot of targets for removal, so they have to choose. So this can be a nice bait card too, in that case. Even when you play this as a first play, even if you make it 4 to 5, so it's gonna be removal range, it's gonna be still get nice value in that deck. So it's gonna be nice. Next one, gonna be Fortune Teller. So I talk about this with the Dooms. This is a really nice card, by the way. 4 body, 4 provision, neutral. And I really like cards that have 2 abilities for your choose. So yeah, you can play them according to your game plan and the situation you find yourselves in certain matchups, right? So if you play this card to the front row, you're gonna give Doom to a unit. We saw that we have special card that destroy doomed units with 5 provision. So it has nice synergy with that. Both are these cards gonna be neutrals. And if you think you don't need to give a Doom to any card because you don't have a removal, then you can play this card to the range and give Veil to unit. So you can use it defensively too against poison decks. And this is gonna be one of the cards that we see a lot, especially in the first week probably. It's gonna be a nice one. And think about this too, when you give Doom to a unit, it's not gonna be directly to remove that unit in that same round, but also it can be a target that you don't want to see in the battlefield in later rounds, that graveyard synergy. I mean, you can give Doom to Crow Mother, for example. If your opponent cannot provide it, bye-bye. Same for, it's a unit, so you cannot do this on scenarios so far, but any card that have carryover value, you can play this offensively too. Of course, your opponent can have Purify, but how many Purifies they gonna have? Most of them gonna add Veil, right, to their decks, and giving Veil to a Doomed unit, not gonna save that anyway. It is good against poison, but not good against Doomed, right? Keep that in mind too. If people gonna play a lot of Veil against poison, then they're gonna be target of Doom. So, because when you give Doom to a unit, even if they give Veil to that, then you can still destroy Doomed units with special cards on any kind of unit that destroys Doomed units. So that's gonna be nice tech too, to be honest. Ethereal, it's a demon. We're not gonna have a lot of demon in game, you know. This is a Doomed unit. 4 body, 8 provision, and a pick card, neutral one. At the end of your turn, transform a non-demon unit to the right into a base copy of self. Okay, so base copy of self means that's gonna have a passive ability too. So you can keep doing this, changing the right card into self, okay? It means if that's lower than 4 body, you are gonna get value. But there's a catch here. Which abilities is good with this card? For example, Orca Swarm, you can play this and then next to it, right to it, you can just spawn an Insectoid with 1 body. It's gonna, at the end of your turn, it's gonna be an Ethereal 4 body demon 2. which gonna keep the ability, right? Or it can be good with Garni ability because it's gonna have one body too, so you can keep that. The catch here, most of these lower units and leader abilities gonna come with spawn, right? Spawn always works. You choose the row and it's gonna spawn the card rightmost. It is good until your opponent gives answer. What can be the answer? It cannot be removal. That's the good part. For example, think about that. You play this, play one, you play Arca Swarm, you turn that to it, so you have two Ethereals, okay, together. If your opponent kill one of them, still you're gonna have another one, which you can use it to transform another spawn unit from your leader ability, right? So it's not gonna be a removal, and then you're gonna have two of Ethereals again, and so he cannot do that. He can use Serret Ox kind of plays that locks every copy, but they're gonna be expensive to add your decks, especially after this expansion, because you're gonna have a lot of new good cards. So they need to lock the second one, not the first one. If you have one lock in hand and hope that your opponent not gonna have Purify, you have to lock the rightmost Ethereal, because when you lock that, even your opponent gonna have another Ethereal here. He cannot spawn a unit next to it. He has to play a unit next to it, and most of the bronze is gonna have 3 to 4 body anyway. It's not gonna get much value. So keep that in mind. If you use this card, you need to carry a Purify 2 against one-time locks. And if you play against this, always lock the rightmost, okay? That's gonna be the safest play. But it's gonna good. It's gonna good with Swarm. Your opponent need to have certain answers for this. Can be 2 lock cards in hand, and most decks not gonna have that many locks probably. And the ability is passive. You cannot just Purify kind of stuff for this ability. It's gonna be a good card, to be honest. Especially in the first rounds, you can use this to push your opponent too, if on red coin, for example, with a Garni deck. Think that, it's gonna be nice. Okay, another neutral card, it's gonna be legendary, All God. It's gonna be a relic, by the way. Provision is a lot, 11 with 4 body. With deploy, you're gonna boost 3 units by 2 in your deck. Okay, so you can use this in a engine or order kind of decks, right, to be safe in future. But also you need to draw all those 3 cards to get value, because this is gonna be a slow tempo card, okay? You have to play this in the first or second round. Either you're gonna try to win that round on blue, on red in the first, doesn't matter. This is gonna be a really slow tempo for 11 provision, so it's need to really work that 6-point carryover. You need to play them all. Can you play, for example, this with Shield Maidens, with Ceres in a Lippy deck? I mean, you only have 3 Shield Maidens in your deck after playing Seri and then playing Lippy and send all the Shield Maidens in the deck. So is it worth, for example, to play All God in the last rounds when your all Shield Maidens in deck, boost them to 6 body, so your Seri is gonna be huge, but is it worth to cut an 11 provision spot in your deck? For example, you can cut Totem, I don't know, at this, make a 6 to 5, 5 to 4, for example. Is it worth it? I don't know. We need to see some other plays, I guess. It could be really nice to ult kind of Witchers with All God, for example. You could play All God in the first round. You can boost all the Witchers and then play... no. You can still boost only 2 of them and 1 more carryover, because you have to have 1 Witcher in hand. Or you need to use a tutor for that Witcher, like Royal Decree, to boost 3 of them and play all of them. By the way, I really think this is a good time to talk about Witchers too. They need a little bit of boost, I think. Either they need to have 1 lower provision or 1 more body. It's a very long time after Homecoming that we cannot play Witchers trio. I think this can be a nice time to see them back, especially with this kind of deck. I don't know. No. Only in deck. In hand, that would be good. That would be okay for the slow tempo. But in deck, that means you only get value in future, so you need to be careful in your tempo in that round too. Okay, last of the day, and a very special card, my friends. The very first evolving card of Gwent with Master Mirror. It's gonna be Nilfgaard with Usurper Officer. So let's make one thing clear, okay? This is not gonna be 3 card, okay? In your deck, in your library, you're gonna only see Usurper Officer. You need to craft this card or get this card. The other ones, this is gonna transform into those ones, okay? So this is only 1 card with 3 different variations in game. Let's see how this works. Okay, this is gonna be legendary, of course. 6 body, 11 provision. Deploy ability. Spawn an operative in the enemy row. They didn't add this part, the token. Operative is a token, doomed, of course, because of token, and have 3 body. And they're not gonna be spy. I mean, spy is attack. They're gonna be spy, but spy is attack. Operative is the name of the card. So, because this card has an ability, Zeal Order, so you can use it as soon as you play. Seize all operatives, okay? So you're gonna spawn a 3 body operative to the opposite side, and then you're gonna seize it. So it's gonna be 9 point of play with 11 provision. You're gonna see none. You are not gonna seize other spies, okay? You're gonna only seize operative. It's a card name. So that's the thing. But if you choose not to play this card in the first round, it can be in hand or deck. Doesn't matter. At the start of round, okay, while in hand or deck, this is gonna transform into Usurper General. So if you play as Usurper General, this time with deploy, you're gonna spawn an operative in each enemy row. So you're gonna spawn 3 for back row, 3 for front row of your opponent, and you're gonna still have Zeal with Order. No. It's only operatives. And then with Zeal, with Order, so as soon as you play, seize all operatives. So this time it's gonna be 12 for 11. It's gonna be 12 for 11. It's gonna be huge. But if you're not gonna play in the second round too, at the start of round, if you have Devotion, no natural cards in your deck, okay? This time it's gonna transform into Usurper Emperor. Gonna have Veil. Your opponent cannot give any statuses to this. With deploy, like the previous one, you're gonna spawn an operative in each enemy row. With Zeal, same, seize all operatives. But this time, extra ability. Whenever you play an agent, boost health by 1. Like Dodric, agent. Like Courier's, agent. You are gonna get extra value. So, you need to think about the matchup and everything to choose which time is the best to play this. Another thing with this, to maximize the value, you can try to play this in the first round, okay? To be safe, you can win the round. So next round, in the beginning of second round, you can start with Asir to send it to the back again. So it's going to be deck again in the beginning of round 3. So it's going to transform into the next one. So in the round 3, you can play with the second version too. So you can play double Usurper in game. But of course, against Banish, Graveyard Banish with Scroll kind of stuff or Arbalest, you need to have the first say in the second round, so you can have time to play Asir. Or your opponent, if your opponent gives Doom to this, you need to have Purify. Or if your opponent can have Heatwave, Invo, that kind of stuff, it means you're gonna just play this only in the first round. So thinking the matchup, you can have Asir in deck too maybe to play double Usurper, but you can decide to which one gonna be the best in that matchup, so decide to play in that round. Evolving cards gonna really be refreshing for the game, I guess. Every faction gonna have 1 evolving card, so it's gonna be nice. Next one gonna be revealed in Thursday, by the way, so keep in tune for that too. So I think we are ending this part for the second video too, so hope to see you again next one.